32 teams started the week here in Lugo to compete for the biggest prize in Team 9 Ball. Now just 2 nations remain. It's the Philippines against Germany, and it's the final of the World Cup of Pool. Yes, a very good evening once again from Lugo in the gorgeous Galicia region of Spain. It very much all comes down to this. Welcome along to the final of the 2023 World Cup of Pool. So 30 matches have been played in this World Cup, just the one left to decide whether it'll be the Philippines or Germany who claim the title. There's also the not so small matter of $60,000 going to the winning team. And if this afternoon's semi-finals are anything to go by, we're in for a Sunday night 9-ball treat.
The Philippines had lost 6 racks in a row before seeing off Chinese Taipei in a decider in the quarters. So even at 8-4 up against Austria, they knew the match still needed winning. Sure enough, the 2-time winners charged back with the aid of a golden break in the 15th, all the way to 8-all. But Mario He broke dry in the decider, and the Austrians didn't get back to the table as the Philippines held their nerve to reach the final. It was close running all the way in this one. Then from 5-all, China pulled away to a 7-5 lead. Germany closed to 1 behind, but China looked well placed to get to the hill, only to leave themselves a tough 9 which Wu Chia-Ching missed. So the Germans got back level at 7-all, then added a couple more to complete their 4-rack dash to the line at 9-7.
So the Philippines and Germany coming through 2 brilliant semi-finals to book their spot in the last remaining match of this year's World Cup of Pool. The Philippines pushed all the way hill against Austria, but they made it through with a 9-8 victory, and Germany 9-7 victors over China. So, like we said, brilliant semi-finals this afternoon. So much to look forward to tonight. Carl Boys and Jeremy Jones are alongside me. Jeremy, we've seen some fantastic 9-ball over the last few days, but it doesn't really get much better than those 2 semi-final matches we had.
Yeah, well, I think the final might do a little better, but we'll see about that. Yeah, the semis were great. Never giving up, both teams. Even one with a lead. It looked like they lost the lead and maybe it would go awry, but the Philippines held it together, another hill match, and then Germany, they've done what they've done all week.
It's really interesting, isn't it, Carl, when you look at how these 2 teams have got there. As Jeremy said, the Philippines pushed hill in both their semi-final and their quarter-final, having had a big lead, but they've held on to win on both occasions.
Yeah, the fact that these 2 have never won this tournament, you know, they're still new to the World 9-ball tour. They're coming from a long line of legends from the Philippines, like Reyes and Bustamante have won this tournament twice. But if you look at the route, they've had Spain A, Spain B, and then they've won 9-8, 9-8. So if they're going to be a little bit nervous in the final, just look back at what you've done this week.
Yeah, well, actually, let's take a look back now to the final moments of their semi-final match. This is Mario He breaking for the match, and it was a scratch, Jeremy, and you see the frustration from Mario, and then what a great opportunity this represented for the Philippines, who if this match had gone away from them, they'd be feeling very hard done by.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like yesterday's match. They didn't do a whole lot wrong to lose that lead. A couple little mistakes, a couple little things today, and Austria, showed their class with the comeback. little unfortunate with the kiss and then a scratch on the break.
Yeah, that is the way that this game so often unfolds. Germany as well, they've had 2 massive comeback wins, Carl, to get to this point over the last couple of days. Here's Joshua Filler with the 9 ball, almost a mirror image of where Moritz Neuhausen potted the 9 for their spot through from the quarterfinals. I mean, the relief there is quite palpable, and that unicorn, I can confirm, is called Fred, and he is their lucky emotional support animal, we are told.
Yeah, it's all about Fred, really, with Team Germany. No, the fact that Joshua Filler's 25 years of age, he's been around forever. I remember him as a 12, 13-year-old. He didn't miss back then. And Moritz, just 19. He's playing like he's been out here for years. You know, there's such a good, dynamic young team. And as far as the team goes, they're the ones that have impressed me most, just the way they're getting on with it. When one of them misses a ball, it's not a problem. High five, let's keep going.
Before we get to the final, I do have to do the thing that I know you both absolutely hate me doing. Jeremy, who's winning the World Cup?
Well, my picks early went awry, so Philippines I picked yesterday, I'm going to stick with them.
Okay, Carl?
Well, I always disagree, so I've got to say Germany, haven't I? Of course.
You do, yes. Oh, we are so looking forward to this final. The players are ready, and so are we. It is the final match of the 2023 World Cup of Pool.
Good evening, 9-ball pool fans all around the world, and welcome to Lugo, Spain, where Matro Multisport and Galicia Pool Association are presenting the 2023 World Cup of Pool Final! It's been a long run with so epic and close matches. There are only 2 teams remaining fighting for the title, the $60,000 for the winner. They will play on a race to 11 racks. Who will lift the trophy and become the 2023 World Cup of Pool champion? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the arena James Aranas, Dodong Diamond, and Johann Chua, Badkoi for the Philippines! And now, let's hear it for their opponents. Coming with Fred, the support unicorn, the killer, Josua and Moritz Neuhausen from Germany.
Let's test your knowledge and see what you've learned so far. What color are the unicorns? Hey! Where are they dancing? Rainbow! Please use one word to describe the texture of their magical fur. Smile! Yeah!
Please welcome into the arena Carlos Iglesias, President of Galicia Pool Association, and Fernando Romero, CEO of EIDF. Now, ladies and gentlemen, huge applause for the finalists!
Okay, the formalities are done. The fans are very much in voice and the players look pretty ready. It is a race to 11 for the World Cup of Pool. Carl and Jeremy are in commentary alongside Michael McMullen.
Thanks, Hannah. Welcome, everyone, wherever you're watching around the world. A year ago, the Philippines weren't even playing in the World Cup. Now they're one match from going out on their own as the tournament's greatest ever nation. But for that to happen, they have to overcome a team full of youth and exuberance, looking to put their nation alongside the Philippines and China at the top of the all-time World Cup pantheon. Joshua Filler
Thank you. It's the first
has won this tournament before, just a couple of years ago, as well as being a world champion and a US Open champion. We'll get this year's World Cup final underway.
Foul stroke. Ball in head.
Well, a scratch we don't see very often with the new break rule up in the corner. A funny kiss off the red
And please
three.
start the clock.
I kind of felt like this match would go a little differently than what we've seen all week. Philippines leading every match, Germany being behind, but maybe not with the scratch on the break.
Yeah, if there's a way you want to start any final off, it is with ball in hand. And when you have a quick look at where the balls are laying, this is a very good chance to win your first rack. I mean, it may be the easiest rack they've had all week. It's all about the cue ball, though. Control the cue ball.
Yeah, you end up a little short. And now a decision. Do you want to work a little harder on the pink 4? Or do you want to lay up and maybe work a little harder on the purple 5 to the 6? Well, it looks like he's going to have to go 2 rails anyways here.
Nicely done at the start of the final match of what's been a tough road for the Philippines. They beat Spain B 7-2 in the second round, but all their other matches have been close. 7-5 against Spain's main team, the pair who won it last year on the opening day. And then withstanding those 2 great fightbacks from Chinese Taipei and Austria to get through in hill finishes in both of their last 2 matches. But it's a very swift opening rack here. Joshua Filler scratching off the break. The Philippines given a golden chance, and they have taken it with both hands. So, Germany have only played 1 shot so far in this final, but let's get some thoughts from them.
Of course, we feel very happy that we reached the final of this year's World Cup of Pool. It's just an honor to play next to his side. I think we are a proper team. So are the Philippines, and I guess it's going to be a battle of friendship.
It's just unbelievable that we're in the final now, because it could go either way, but we had the luck in the moment as Wu missed the 9 ball. And
maybe he made Wu miss the 9, we never know. But yeah, he definitely helps us to stay calm, and I mean, look at his eyes. He's just so beautiful, it just calms you down. And I think we still are able to win. There's nothing that we can't do. We are a team, we always keep believing, and even if it's 10-0, I wouldn't say we lost.
It's not always about winning, it's about those special moments. And I will always remember that moment being here with him, because I think I've never played so good as a team. Had that crazy good feeling being there. I think that's already a big win. But in the end, of course, we want to lift the trophy. Who's going to win, Fred? Germany!
Well, they have won twice before, 2011 in Quezon City, Ralph Souquet and Torsten Homan. And then 10 years later, in Milton Keynes in 2021, Filler and Christoph Reintjes. So Germany have only ever lost 1 World Cup final, and that was against the Philippines.
That was a good break. Both players from the Philippines have broke well this tournament, consistently making the one in the side. No easy shot on the blue two.
Looks like you just do your best to bring it by the 3 using the purple and the black 8. There's gaps, though. Oh, a friendly little kiss off the red 3.
Johann Chua, what a tournament he's having.
Yeah, what a fantastic 8 he potted in that deciding rack. The Philippines pair picked up off Mario He's dry break to come through the semi-final earlier today against Austria.
Beautiful strike there. All he could do is try to hold the cue ball and take his chances, leaving something long for Team Philippines. It's amazing, Carl, how good the players are with the jump cue these days, just not pocketing balls, but working the cue ball, and sometimes they even massay the ball in the air. It's amazing, really.
It seems to be that the players put a lot more practice in with that short cue these days.
Kind of like the safety here, even though Johann's been going at it, but small pocket and easy to get behind the purple with the safety.
Bit of personal history on offer to Joshua Filler this evening. There are only 6 players who've ever been on the winning team in a World Cup of Pool on 2 occasions. He can be the 7th.
Cue ball going to kiss the 3, going to kiss the cue ball. Now an open shot.
Yeah, it looked like there was hooked for a minute before that 2 come back down. The younger players seem to grab the jump cue a lot more these days. I think it's just something where they feel like they're guaranteed the hit. I mean, obviously in that instance. But you don't always get away with it here, JJ.
No, and I'll tell you though, one thing I've been thoroughly impressed with Josh is how well he has improved kicking. He made a couple kick shots against China when they were really up against it. Remember the soft kick to the bottom rail on the 2 ball in such a crucial game there late in the match, and he's just pretty much got the entire game now.
6th time the Philippines have featured in the World Cup final, 3 times for their A team, twice for their B team, looking for that record 4th win. Currently tied with China at the top of the list.
Yeah, and it's been the break shot early that has really kind of, pardon the pun, put the German team behind the 8 ball, and it's a scratch on the break in the opening here, and it's a very dangerous team just because the Philippines have broke the ball so well. And really a big part of why they've gotten those leads, huh, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a tough road to get here. Coming through as an unseeded team. There's no way that they're not one of the 16 best teams here, but of course through inactivity, the world rankings are not good enough to make them seeds, and if they do win, they'll be the first unseeded team ever to win the World Cup of Pool.
Just lost the cue ball a little bit there. He's put his partner under a little bit of pressure here.
I went ahead and decided to let the cue ball go a little bit, let the stroke out. Didn't get easy, and maybe they remember back to that situation at 8-7 against Austria when they decided to lay up and take a tough shot on the 6. And
sorry, you used it.
Sure.
Can we stop the shot clock? 30 seconds, please. Thanks.
Johann Chua had missed that 6 ball, about the only ball he's missed, it seems.
Johann Chua, he's feeling very spicy early on in this final. He does not mind letting that cue ball fly around the table. Aranas with a tricky 9 here for the second rack.
And have we just seen the first big moment of this final already?
Yeah, Aranas has played his part here this week. Of course he has. He's come with some big shots, but it's been Chua who's been making the tricky pots. Chua's got to try and get Aranas better.
Ja, links oder rechts rein.
On the balls, you feel.
Dann würde ich sagen rechts. Ja, und dann ziehen. Ja.
This is not easy, but it's a chance the boys would probably thought they would never get. If they make it, it hurts Team Philippines. If they miss it, Philippines have been let off the hook.
What a moment from Moritz Neuhausen. He's been the breakout star of this World Cup. 19 years of age, really put under it there. At the end of the second rack, it looked 2-0 for all the world. Now, it's 1-1. So disappointment for the Philippines there. Doesn't it show on their faces? But let's hear what they had to say before the final.
This is my first time to reach final, especially this kind of prestigious event, especially Matchroom. And plus, it's a world title, so it would mean a lot to me to lift the trophy.
We are very good friends, and we really know each each game. He allowed me to play shots that I want, and I allow him whatever he wants. And I'm glad this will be the last one, the last pressure for today. It's gonna be all done. So I'm excited to get this started.
Let's get done this.
To be part of for FN and Django, it would really mean so much. So but we're not thinking that because it will add up a pressure to us. So I'm telling James that just give our best. Like in the first round, we didn't expect anything. We just came there to give our best, and here we are. To be able to be close to this one is such an amazing feeling. So to be able to lift it tonight, it will be such a wonderful.
Thank you, the third rack.
Moritz Neuhausen
Team
has
Germany
a chance
to break.
tonight to be the
One
youngest
rack each.
player ever to feature on the winning team in the World Cup. First teenager to do so. He's just pulled out a big 9 at the end of the second rack, and he breaks in number 3.
I think the 2 may have opened up here. Maybe a little field goal between the 6 and 7. It's close. Oh, that's tight. Pretty hard to go for that one. Especially with a real easy safety laying right in front of you.
Yeah, having a quick look at this one, it's hard to see a natural path. How do you get to the blue 2?
Tulak na lang 4.
Huh?
Tulak na lang 4. Tulak na lang.
Filipinos, they always see things other pool players don't.
Extension.
Extension called.
Very inventive.
Yeah, I think the extension is to figure out what other options besides trying to hit the 2. 3 rails, that's about it that I see in between around the 8 and in between the pink and the 7.
Would there be a case of just rolling the pink up to the 2 and just see if you get an easier kick?
Just got to really bend this a little, going past the side.
Foul
Good
stroke.
effort.
Illegal contact, ball in hand. Please start the clock.
How quickly it's all changed here. Just a few minutes ago, it looked as though the first 2 racks were going to add up to just about the perfect start for the Philippines. Left the tricky 9, missed it, and now Germany with ball in hand. A decent chance to go in front for the first time.
Yeah, and what I noticed between the two breaking, that being the Philippines and Germany in the semifinals, is just Philippines hitting them harder. We get more spreads around the table, where when Germany breaks, it seems we sometimes have a lot of groupings at the bottom end of the table, which can make for tricky outs, but sometimes also kind of a little bit more easy outs.
No matter what situations Germany have found themselves in on this run to the final, Neuhausen has always looked comfortable with whatever's been thrown at him. We knew he was very good before this week, but he's added so much experience now. He'll be even more of a force in the tournaments coming ahead.
Yeah, what's been impressive for me is he's not been scared to play with Phil, or someone who's won everything in the sport. He's embraced it, you know, he's enjoyed it. Some of the other teams who have got a senior player, they've been a little bit edgy playing with that.
The extension, please.
Yeah, totally, and I think a lot of things add up to that. He's a real mild-mannered kind of guy, and really sharp, really smart. And not only that, technique. I think technique helps you with the pressure, and this is pretty simple. Has all the shots. May need to slow down a bit. Filler's going to be upset about that.
Yeah, he is, because this is also another big moment in the match. Philippines handed the second rack to Germany. The Germans don't want to be handing the third.
Yeah, and he may have to address this with side spin. This may be coming near where he's standing, that right middle.
Cue ball living a charmed life there. What a start for Moritz Neuhausen. Two big questions asked of him already. He's come up with the answer both times.
Team Germany.
And that's a big part of why Germany lead this World Cup final for the first time against the Philippines at 2-1. for the second Sunday night in a row. Paso de Ferris, a Congresos de Lugo here in northwestern Spain, is staging a major pool final. We had one of the greatest we've ever seen last weekend as Dang Junhui lifted the Spanish Open, breaking the heart of Mark Bijsterbosch. And we had a wonderful atmosphere to go with it. And it's all building up here again on World Cup final night. David Gutierrez, the MC, who's been such a wonderful part of generating this great atmosphere on our adventure here in Lugo, has got the crowd going again. And of course we know from Mosconi's that's the Joshua Filler tune. To the sound of Seven Nation Army.
Thank you, the fourth rack. Team Germany is leading the match by 2 racks to 1 on the break.
All summed up by his compatriot, Marcel Eckhart. Filler breaks.
Yeah, Josh has gotten some different kisses up the table when breaking and found a little funny spot on the blue too. Been good with the 1 down. Now they have to kind of figure out something from here, and maybe there isn't a whole lot.
Die Weiß auf die 5. Aber der geht schon ein bisschen.
Lass mal kurz nachdenken. Wenn dann, was ich sehe, ist die 2 halt wieder kurz spielen. Ne? Weil wenn die zu kurz läuft, dann ist halt hier, die geht halt nicht. Ne?
Ja, ich weiß.
Ich glaube, das macht am meisten Sinn, die 2 halt wenigstens hinter die Mitte holen, nach hier.
Und die Weiße?
Also ein bisschen, ja, gegen die Bande und auf die 3 wahrscheinlich.
Ja, aber die kann schnell scratchen.
Ja, aber wir haben halt nicht viel. Ich würde den halt trotzdem spielen.
Und was hältst du davon, die Weiße direkt hinter die 5 und die 2 einfach so?
Der Doppelkiss liegt. Die kann Doppelkiss.
Sicher?
Ja. Extension.
Die Extension, please.
Ich würde versuchen, die 2 hoch.
Okay.
Und wenn die hier liegen bleibt, ist trotzdem gut.
Ja.
So what he's going to try and play here is just crossing the 2 over mildly, sending it up table. Trying to leave it in front of the 7-8, like a combination. They fluked the 3. This isn't going to hurt at all. Maybe a kiss shot on the 7, a combination, possibly. And I'll tell you got to like, though. I mean, they knew they weren't getting the snooker, right? But Moritz really took the information well, and it's been like that all week.
Trying to become, as I said, the youngest ever winner of the World Cup. Isn't the youngest finalist. Wojciech Szewczyk was a bit younger when he played in the final for Poland 11 years ago.
Come on. Joshua Filler, what a safety shot that is. JJ, you said his safety has improved.
Yeah, I think once we kind of made the format of the rules tougher, the tables tougher, the break rule tougher, I think Josh realized he's got to up that part of his game. Big hit here. Oh, really nice. Really nice.
What I like about what Josh is doing, he's getting really involved in the atmosphere, very much like a Mosconi Cup match. He's cheering and shouting when he plays a good shot.
Yeah, Filler, the only one here really with vast experience of playing in a big crowd, team environment. Such a great Mosconi record and legacy already.
Yeah, nice effort there for Moritz. And I tell you, I got to be pretty impressed with the kick shot that Johann took on. Felt like it was the right shot to hit it slowly, but in a big moment, a lot of players would say, let me put some speed on this and try and get lucky. And he stuck to his guns, and no matter it is the World Cup final. Tough shot here to get behind the purple.
Yep, wasn't a good shot, was it?
No, and I saw a little adjustment there, maybe thinking the purple, then last second, let me just hold him behind the 9, and got a little in between. And not the guy in this moment you want to leave this shot to.
Tell you what, JJ, that will give the Filipinos a spark, that, because they may have been a little intimidated so far. The fact that they made the mistake when they could have gone 2 up, and then they've seen Filler who bullies people on the pool table a lot. Miss a ball like that. That could really do a lot for this final now.
Yeah, just like playing position, right? If you get involved in perfect, that's when the nerves really get kind of overwhelming at times. And if you're talking about playing a safe against Josh and you have to get it perfect, right, or else he's going to knock the ball in, that's when you end up short on the cue ball and maybe making some bad decisions. Good for Aranas to be able to get back to the table and knock a few balls in after that early missed 9.
The game is just such a massive deal in the Philippines. One of the very biggest sports over there. A lot of that down to the success of Efren Reyes, one of those players who's won this tournament on a couple of occasions. Really will register so big back home if they can take this tonight. 10 years since the Philippines last won it.
Yeah, both these teams have played so great the entire event. Ahead, trailing, whatever it may be. Kind of feel like one of these mistakes is going to open up to maybe a few breaking runs and a 2 or 3 game lead.
So after winning the opener and almost leading 2-0, lost a couple in a row to 4 behind. Back level again now, 2-2 in the early stages of this World Cup final. A few reflections on that from the German pair. Aranas and Johann Chua, both 31 years of age. A long way down the world rankings, but that's not going to last long. Aranas at 74, Chua at 82, but as I was saying earlier, they're both just coming back on to the world stage. They both have big moments since they started playing in these major events again. Chua beat Filler 9-1 in the Spanish Open just last week in this venue. Aranas had that good run at the World Masters where he was so close to getting to the final. And how wonderful it is to see this on a Sunday evening here. Good crowd gathering in Lugo to watch the final of the World Cup. A team event like this can sometimes be difficult getting crowds to because it's all quite tribal. Great atmosphere when Spain were playing, but some of the earlier matches, that was lacking a bit. Over the weekend, though, it's been wonderful in here. 2 great semi-finals, 2 of the best matches we've ever seen in this tournament earlier today. And 2-2 in the early stages of the final.
Again, that's a fantastic break. I know we say that a lot off the break, but if you're a pool player, an amateur pool player, and you've tried this break format, you'll know it's not easy to hit the break hard and keep making the one in the side. And the reason why it was changed, actually this time last year, the World Cup of Pool, I believe. That's when the players voted this break rule in, is to just give the sport a little bit more variety. So we're going to see that right now.
Pinaan mo na lang yung dos doon pag dalhin mo rito yung bato. Kaya ba?
Dito na lang yung dos.
Oh, dyan na lang.
Yeah, if the purple 5 wasn't there, he could really kind of try to cut this in and run the cue ball to the backside of the 3 or some type of shot on the 3, but now he's got to play safe, banking the 2 a couple rails around the 9, trying to kill the cue ball. Really nice stroke. And since that last 6 ball in the last rack, I thought his stroke looked much cleaner there. And anytime the greats make a good stroke, they kind of remember it.
Yeah, the 6 ball was near the rail, so it was unmissable, but it went in as clean as you like.
Jump, what's an idea?
Ja, weil...
Extension.
The extension, please.
Zu den Jumpen?
Ich kann den jumpen, aber was machen wir?
Ja, versuch.
jetzt einen Hau drauf machen, aber...
Ja, du kannst ihn als Banker versuchen, die weiß wieder rum. Geht das vielleicht? Ist halt, ja, ich meine, 20 Sekunden.
Ich kann den Banker einfach reinmachen. Ich könnte halt auch versuchen, die 2 einfach da und die Weiß wieder runter, aber der ist halt schwer.
Running short on time, I'll tell you. 10 seconds, so gotta get on with it. I was gonna say, looking great camera view. You could tell he was attacking right there. The Germans, when they take that much time, they're in a bad spot.
The Philippines, as I was saying, are looking to be the first unseeded team to win the World Cup. They have had an unseeded team in the final before. Thailand back in 2011. They lost that final against Germany.
Yeah, got to kill the cue ball here, it looks like. A little spin. Wow, he pulled it past the side. I didn't know that was necessary to kill the cue ball, but maybe worried if he hit before the side it would run on a bit.
Yeah, the players know that the pockets, you can be a little looser with your potting. Oh, hello. Centre of the pocket again. Aranas is feeling it now. He's got involved in this final.
Well, we talked about Johann because, you know, not seen him as much as James, of course, here of recent. And the shots he's made in this event have just been something you don't see very often. Maybe the opposing team filler. He's shown us a few of those in the past couple of years, but Aranas, he can play, and he wouldn't have been here otherwise. So many great Filipino players.
So Germany were backed into a corner, and ultimately that's how the Philippines have got this chance. They've already been ahead and behind in this final. Now they're ahead again. Philippines hit the front at 3-2 in this race to 11 in the World Cup final. So 2 really good fight backs in the last 2 rounds by Germany. They only got to the second round last year, as you can see there. It was a different team. Filler and Torsten Homan were here to defend the title. Filler and Christoph Reinches had won in Milton Keynes the year before. They were beaten in the last 16 by the Netherlands. And this has been really impressive from them. No matter what has happened, if they've won the rack or lost the rack, they don't ever seem to let their spirits drop, and the conversation back in the chairs always seems to be positive and upbeat. And Filler giving his young friend great encouragement. It's been a big part of their success in getting to this final. And speaking of success, that word can definitely be applied to our fortnight in Lugo. A full-scale matchroom open event coming here for the first time last week. So many great stories from that. A wonderful final to round it all off. As I was saying, one of the best we've ever seen in this sort of environment. And all that feeding in then to the World Cup. Great stories here as well. Heartbreak for Australia in the first round. Those hill finishes the Philippines have come through. And so much else besides. And still so much of the final to come. 3-2.
Where's the cue ball? What another good break, JJ.
Yeah, I'd say Aranas has been the best probably in the tournament that I've seen. Break in, break out. Of course, Johann smashing him, of course, but just a consistent smash. What we've seen, like, kind of mimic each other every time he breaks, and a big part of why they're here. I know Johann wants to attack here. I probably attack myself. Cut the two into the pink and just run the cue ball a couple rails to the center. Now, this is a great camera look. Maybe running to the center is a little dangerous because with that much speed, the two may fall to the bottom rail off the pink. Not giving any further position. I decided to play the safety, and hard to blame a little off of the speed control though.
Yeah, a large part of this duo's success this week has been just the way they've been as a pair away from the table.
The extension,
of course,
please.
on the table. But if you heard what Phil said in his pre-match interview, he said it's not just about the winning, it's about remembering. There's not a lot of top players that think like that, but I think that's why he's very successful, because he's actually a very good loser when he loses.
Yeah, and I love his interviews. They're always genuine. And I'll tell you, if he doesn't like it, I think the bank is really on his mind here, but looks like the safety.
Well, how do you like that one? How do you like that one?
Yeah, and talk about it all the time. Pool, the dynamic it's just so immense. It's so incredible how well under the pressure these players pull these shots off. These aren't ones they practice. Don't set those kind of balls up. You can't set them all up. I like the medium kick here, not too hard. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good things that can happen.
Well, you need a crystal ball to predict that one. But you was right with the speed. The over tells us the 5-ball goes past the 6-0.
Coming 2 rails to the bottom, trying to send the cue ball at the green and purple. I come across it.
There hasn't yet been more than one rack in it either way. Could this be the moment for the Philippines to change that?
Yeah, and I think just like before when we talked that, you know, your opponents start kicking out of some of those safeties and stuff like that, you may make a big decision later to bury a big ball, whether it be Germany or Team Philippines. We've seen Philippines, they want to stay aggressive.
Gusto mo, palampasin mo na dyan. Kung dumiretso kahit mabiting kahit ano. Palampasin mo na sa 9. Kaya? Kaya? Extension pa naman. Yan o. Kahit dumiretso yan, kahit mabiting, kahit lang dito sa gitna. Ha? Mas pabor yan. Ayaw mo bagsak? Hindi, mas pabor. Extension.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he said extension, but Marcel didn't quite register easily to understand how that could happen.
I was going to say it could be a little tricky because the 8 there, getting proper on the 5. If you fall underneath it, you're going to have to really do something to get back on the 6. So big shot here on the pink. Looks like the draw stroke. Trying to get to that top rail and feel that second bounce, and he's done pretty well. James has still got to do something to kill the ball back across the 8. This is the type of shot on the slick table. If you kind of quiver with the stroke, the spin can kind of, what's the right word, just kind of fizzle there and not really do a whole lot.
Could also come below the 8.
Is he drawn off the 8? Yeah, it's a smart shot.
Prior to this fortnight, it's been so long really since any sort of big event was played in Spain, so a lot of the people here might not have attended pool very much, but they're very adept at knowing which shots to appreciate, whether it's pots, wonderful positional play, or even the tactical side of it.
Is he straight? Can he just draw it back off the rail, or is it going near the middle?
I think he can cheat it one way or another. I'd love to use the rail, but not put as a partner on the rail. And I think we have very educated fans for the most part in the stands, it seems. Been here for the Spanish Open, and like you said, Michael, very aware of what's going on.
And what's going on now is that with a good show of holding your nerve on the 9-ball, the Philippines have gone 2 clear for the first time. They've won 3 racks in a row now. It's 4-2. When the Football World Cup first came to Spain, Germany, or West Germany as they were then, got to the final with a chance to win it for a record-equalling 3rd time. 41 years later, and Pool's equivalent is coming here for the first time. The German side are in exactly the same position. They can match Philippines and China on 3 wins, but they're up against the Philippines in the final, and they currently trail 4-2 amid this wonderful atmosphere for the 2nd Sunday night in a row
take your seats, please.
here in
The 7th
Lugo.
break. Team Philippines to break, leading by
Game of
4
pool
racks to 2.
is simply thriving. It's been massive for a long time in the Philippines. They have the advantage.
Yeah, and I'll tell you again, a rock and break. I think he has the top edge of the two, and they'll certainly try and take advantage of that with some type of safety versus the push out. A little touchy though. I think here I probably try to protect the blue too. The cue ball looks very difficult to control and get, you know, securely behind another ball. So. Just gotta say he needs it thin, and I don't know, maybe that kiss cut him off the pocket for the 2-ball. Certainly can see a piece.
Talked about how tough the Philippines' route to the final has been. Similar for Germany though, those two comebacks in the last 2 rounds, and they had to pull away from 4-all with 3 in a row to beat Canada. Even New Zealand made it harder for them in the first round than 7-2 would suggest. But back to today, and that's an error.
Yeah, I was going to say it sounded like a miscue to me. Like, watch it. Yeah, it just slid a little bit off, and you could see no more spin on the ball, and definitely a miscue there. So Filler had a couple mistakes here.
Yeah, Filler usually very good at seeing the edge of the ball and playing them little thin ones, so it just skidded off the tip.
Extension.
Yeah, really, I wouldn't. Just getting on the pink here in a moment is really the deal. And
Pag nilagay ko dito ba?
Sige.
O, dyan na lang.
Gitna na lang.
Gitna na lang dong.
Sige, sige.
Hindi na tayo
Sige.
don't want to burn the extension here because you could certainly get in a funny situation on the pink.
Ipisan ko lang.
Or even a later ball.
Ipisan mo lang ibabaw. Huwag kang may-pressure. Hindi yan makukurid. Hindi yan may...
Papabandahin ko pa rito.
Hindi na. Hindi na pabanda. Ang kalkulasyon na parang mapinapakita.
Looks like he can come straight down the table. The pink goes in the right middle and the upper right. Just cheat the pocket a little bit on the red 3. That way it helps the cue ball move easily. And this is going to get tricky.
Yeah, we've seen a few balls this week missed in these middles. They're not easy. But Chua has pulled out shot after shot over the last 2 or 3 days in this event. Needs another big one. Oh boy, is he been delivering. Cue ball needs to settle down a bit. Doesn't want to sneak and set on the 9-ball. That's okay, he's got a shot.
Perhaps the best of the final so far. Got to watch that one again.
Yeah, a lot of players may have looked at trying to ease that ball and opening the pocket. There's been none of that for Johann Chua this week. Good choice, just killing the cue ball.
Started off race to 7 the first couple of rounds, then up to 9 for the next couple. Now it's 11. But even allowing for that, 5-2 is the sort of situation from the German point of view that they can still definitely turn it around, but then be under pressure not to let the lead become too much bigger, because then it becomes a big ask. But as we've seen, of course, even when the Philippines have had big leads in their last 2 matches, they've still ended up in close finishes.
It should be 5-2 here shortly, which is nowhere near out of hand for Team Germany. But the feeling I get, it's not going to be a big mistake we think of. It's going to be a big shot or two that we remember with these two teams.
Yeah, it's been impressive this, because after the missed 9-ball, you were kind of thinking, I hope the Filipinos don't suffer from that, but it's been the complete opposite.
Well, there's no way James Aranas was going to miss that 9-ball. So having been 2-1 down, Philippines have carved out for themselves a 5-2 lead here. And they're almost halfway to a victory, which would make them the first ever 4-time winners of this World Cup. Well, would bridge quite a gap. It's been 10 years since their last success. Germany had won it a couple of years before that. They've won it again since, with Joshua Filler in the team in 2021. Spain came here as holders, didn't survive the opening match, beaten by the Philippines, who then put out the Spain B team. Austria have had so much success in recent times. They were very close to getting to the final yet again. Just edged out earlier today, 9-8 by the Philippines. Austria got to the final in 2018 in Shanghai, in between those two successes. And Carl, we'll mention it one last time as it's there on the screen. 2014, England, your good self.
Yeah, I don't see Jeremy Jones's name anywhere on that trophy.
Come on, he's our friend, Carl.
I never got to play in it.
Yeah.
The 8th rack. Team Philippines to break,
No,
leading
good
by
shooting,
5
Carl.
exits.
You got that one. You got me.
Even after you had stopped playing, they still let you into it. You nearly won it again. 5-2 Philippines.
Just watch how straight the cue ball comes back and forth, breaking so hard. That's what. Oh, that one got a kiss down below. Caught it a little thin. I think the 2's going to open up, and you got to feel like this is a pretty darn good shot for Johann Chua.
Yeah, it looked like the cue ball was going to come across. Carbon copy break of what he's been doing, but it kicked the ball. These are the big shots that he's been knocking in over the last 3 to 4 days in the big matches. Here's another big one. 5-2 in front. If he makes this and gets on the 3, what an opportunity.
Yeah, a little half drag, a little draw stroke, kind of killing the cue ball. And better players would much rather shoot it that way than roll the ball from some distance.
Yeah, and for the complete novice who's watching 9-ball maybe for the first time, you might be thinking, how did that ball go in? But the players, this is what 9-ball's played on. It's played on a more forgiving pocket. The players know that. That's why they play shots a certain way. A little shy of pace on this one, though.
Yeah, big time, and kind of pulled the trigger a little quicker than I've been seeing him. Another kill stroke here, drawing the ball to the side rail.
It's in the heart of the pocket, though. Germany are just sat watching, waiting for an opportunity to come.
This is the type of shot that can get you when the nerves are high. The stun from not much angle.
It's on the brink of becoming their most dominant rack so far. Germany getting frozen out here.
Yeah, and it seems like the cue ball just gets enough out of it to where James doesn't have to do a whole lot, can still just kind of kill the cue ball. This is the benefit of the slick felt. It holds the draw nicely, so you don't have to work the ball off these angles all the time.
This is getting very concerning for the Germans. Bounded into this final, full of youth, enthusiasm and friendship, and the good form they'd shown in turning around their last couple of matches.
Team Philippines wins the rack.
They made a promising start, but have now lost 5 racks in a row. It's a tide they've got to stem soon, and this World Cup final could be slipping away from them. 6-2 now to the Philippines. Well, if Germany can turn this around, then we'll be off to the home of the World Cup holders when we arrive in Fulda in a few weeks' time for the European Open. Albin Ocean, the inaugural winner last year, on his 32nd birthday. He'll be back there to defend the title. Second staging of it. Incredible to think we only had one of these Matchroom Open events prior to last year, the US Open. And the UK and European made their debuts last year. Spanish Open just last week. And of course, in October, as has now been confirmed, we're off to Hanoi City in Vietnam for the Asian Open. Well, the deeper we get into this final, the more comfortable and competent the Philippines are becoming here.
T9 frac. Team Philippines to break, leading by 6 racks to 2.
Yeah, but what we've seen in many 9-ball pool matches, you've got to stay with it, stay in the present, because one moment of madness can change a match. We've seen it all week. Where's the 6th ball going to go? I think they may have a shot. I don't know if they're jacked up, though.
Yeah, I think definitely jacked up, and really can't complain about it, though, right? And these two certainly won't. And this is what I think all of us were a little afraid of with these two teams. Didn't take but one mistake, really, to get some separation. You'll want to kind of put some speed on this, maybe bump into the 3. Doesn't want to roll it. Oh, wow, James has come to play.
James has decided it's not all about Johann Chua. Look at me go.
Well, we saw him at, what was it, the Whirlpool Masters. Really kind of show the world how good he is, and the few that didn't know. And all that's going to do is make Chua even stronger, right?
Remember during that tournament, Aranas was coming over to us in the commentary position during one of his matches to talk about how nervous he was, and it's been an issue for him. We're not seeing much sign of it tonight.
Yeah, I think he had a quick talk with himself after that 9-ball and relaxed himself and realized he's in a great position.
Yeah, the 9-ball he missed, we've all missed them, haven't we, JJ? You know, they're never easy. Obviously, Johann Chua, it's not so much he played a bad positional shot. Tried to swing it round off 3 rails, landed a little short.
Should just kind of chip this in. And doesn't have to do much. Now, me personally, I probably just kind of draw out a couple inches and let Chua do his thing to the upper left corner on the brown 7 instead of drawing out.
Yeah, you don't want to go forward with this ball because it'll slide off that rail and leave you a nasty 7.
That's okay. You can use a level cue here and go to the side rail and back out to the center. I don't think the side pocket is any kind of worry for the cue ball, that is.
He plays the game a little bit different. Both of these players do. He ain't rolling no ball.
Kind of no maybes, right, Carl? Just take it in your own hands. Little back cut here, so. Speed looks pretty good.
Well, Germany just can't get a look in here at the moment.
The extension, please.
Yeah, there's always a point of when the cue ball passes a certain line where you feel like that's good enough.
The World Cup's first ever winners could become its first 4-time winners tonight. They've won half a dozen racks in a row now. Philippines lead Germany 7-2.
What an atmosphere, what an occasion. And so far, what a performance from the Philippines. James Aranas has been very good. Johann Chua has been excellent. And this crowd have been the star attraction so far, really into it. The question is, will Germany make noise?
Team Philippines is leading the match by 7 racks to 2, and they will break.
2 break-in run-outs in succession for the Philippines. They would love to make it the hat-trick.
There's the break of Aranas. Needs the cue ball to slide out. It has. Getting on the 3 is not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all.
Yeah, this is where that power that Johann has displayed the entire week, along with a bunch of finesse as well, but he's going to have to cheat the pocket a little bit. Don't think he goes forward here. Got to try and pound this in, huh, Carl? Get to the side rail.
Yeah, he's the type of player who wants this type of shot. He wants to show off in this final. Watch out, scratch.
No, he hit it perfect.
Oh my, what a beauty from Badkoi, Johann Chua.
Kind of stalled the ball a little bit to create another angle around the 6, and then the draw and the right spin takes perfectly. Pretty easy pickings here for James Aranas. He can come 2 rails around the 7. Just 1 rail up the center is what I like. It's all preference when you're close, though.
Kind of like the way Johann builds himself up before certain shots. Before it looked like he was doing a little bit of yoga before he potted a 9-ball.
I think it's fair, Jeremy, to say Johann Chua on the big stage has never been more full of self-belief.
Yeah, I agree, and I would say most players would think it was just going to take time for him to get comfortable out there, and he started to do it last week in the Spanish Open, had some big wins and some very convincing wins, one over a partial opponent in this final, Josh Filler.
Yeah, who managed to gain just 1 rack from him.
This might get him. This may kill behind the 9.
Don't worry about Chua, JJ. It's absolutely plumb.
You see this kind of stuff in, stories and movies and stuff, the Wild West or whatever you want to call it, and your partner says, I got this, don't worry. And that's kind of what Chua's doing.
Johann Strauss provided the music for an orchestra. Johann Chua is playing like a symphony orchestra. And James Aranas is hitting the right notes as well. 3 break-in runouts for the Philippines in succession. They've taken this final by the scruff of the neck. The Germans, they're sitting, watching, and they should be admiring.
Well, I'm sure they are, even though it may be a few minutes before it wears in. They just want another opportunity, and I'll tell you, it's funny. A missed 9-ball, kind of like by the Philippines themselves, is what really woke them up.
We expected the Philippines to come out all guns blazing, but I think even this has exceeded our expectations. I don't think I've ever seen a World Cup, Carl, where one player has shone so much brighter than everyone else.
Yeah, it's just the shots he's been left with, isn't it? He just seems to be taking all the difficult shots on, the shots that he's been left with, and just the way he plays it. It's almost like a night with Johann Chua, this.
It would be the 4th Filipino victory in the World Cup, we know that. They would be the youngest team
Thank you,
from the
11th
Philippines to
Team Philippines
be glorious.
And leading 8-2.
Yeah, we all know the history of 9-ball pool over in the Philippines, so it would be quite fitting if they are the country that holds the most titles.
I was going to say he may hit these as hard as he's hit them all week. And looks like we're going to have the Germans back with probably some type of push-out decision.
Just thinking the Philippines staved off that remarkable recovery by Chinese Taipei in the quarterfinals. Same thing in the semi-finals this afternoon. They don't want to go through that again.
Push out.
No, and they were feeling good, but you still got to, you know, remind that the brain's got to be here. And I don't know if I challenge here, Carl. I mean, it's hard not to. It's such an open 2-ball.
Team Germany, it's your
So
choice.
you want to, what they did here is they laid him on the rail. If they want to attack, the cue ball's going away from the red 3 and up towards that top right corner where the pink's at.
Ja, aber der ist so voll eng.
I think you got to take a chance at the safety here if you're not going to attack.
Ja, gehen wir ab.
Team Philippines, please play again.
Here's an interesting one. The Philippines have been on both ends of the biggest victory and defeat in a World Cup final. They won 13-5 against USA 2006. They lost 11-3 against Austria 2019.
Yeah, and I know he got a little fortunate here, but in my opinion, I thought Germany should have taken that on. Even though it wasn't really an offensive shot, you have to change the momentum one way or another.
Ja, du, oder? Ja, mach.
And hooks on the 2-ball, Carl, for the Philippines in this final have been so profitable.
Yeah, Phil is taking this one on. Trying to play kick and stick. Watch the scratch, though. Oh, he's made it. He's made the ball.
The extension, please.
Yeah, talking about attacking. A little friendly bump on the 9, and nothing easy for Moritz, but it is a chance. Gets this one down. You can see a 6-9 looming in a few shots.
It was never going to be easy, JJ. It's understandable.
Yeah, and I think he may have fluked it in the side if he didn't get the double kiss on the cue ball here, but of course these players not wanting the fluke, but I think they would have taken it.
I know they would.
Extension called.
Yeah, this is tricky, I think. I think he can roll it in softly if he wanted and really hold for the cut, but these players like to stay away from combinations unless they're certain, and this one here to me, I think is a higher percentage play, the 6-9, than trying to get out, just because it can be a little tricky getting on the 6 to the 7.
Yeah, and where the cue ball's finished, that tells us that is their plan, because there's no real angle to come across the face of it. And when you, JJ, dead set.
due care and attention being given to what was a very routine 6-9 combination. Moritz Neuhausen, after a long time of inactivity, missed the 3. The Filipinos did the rest. They are 2 racks away from victory in that $60,000 first prize, plus World Cup pool history.
Yeah, I'm with you, JJ. I think when the Filipinos rolled out, they could have played that shot, chip it onto the top rail, get a bit of distance, and see where the cue ball goes.
Now, this is the biggest event the Filipinos have won for a while. The biggest event on the calendar in terms of individual pool, well, it's the US Open. 20 years ago, Jeremy Jones was the champion. This time, it's in Atlantic City in the USA, in the Garden State of New Jersey. The precise dates, September 25 to 30. 6 days of high-octane pool. You will not get any better than that. Shane Van Boening and Earl Strickland, joint record holders in that tournament with 5 victories each. 1, Jeremy, as you know, is some achievement. 5 is superhuman.
Thank you, Rec 12.
Yeah, it sure is. And
Philippines to break, leading by 9 racks to 2.
both those players, they've just always been the type when they get to the finals, they just seem to win.
Don't know about you, Phil, but I'm looking forward to JJ's 20th anniversary meal that he's going to buy us out at the US Open.
Well, just a little jab back. I know you got close to where you could bought us that meal yourself.
Yeah, I'd rather you pay, though.
Hot dog on the boardwalk with all the fixings.
Okay, another shot at the blue two and one of their easiest starters. A little bit of funny cueing, but he doesn't have to do much. Yeah, they're talking. He's like, I'm okay with the combination on the 4-6 or even something tight by the 6 with the pink 4.
Extension.
The extension, please.
And I'll tell you, beyond this World Cup, if these two get to travel together, I think it would do wonders for James and just the confidence that Johann, it seems like to me anyways, gives him at all times.
Lost the cue ball. It was.
Oh, he's shooting. You can believe that. He's just trying to figure out how to get position. Can he kill this underneath the 5? That looks doable to me. Oh, he's going to play it with like an inside kind of centerish. Coming 3 rails into the 9.
Needed a friendlier bump on the 8. Good pot, though.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be many misses from Team Philippines. Just a matter if they can keep position, keep the cue ball on the table, and break well.
Do you think if the scoreline was closer, he'd have rolled up behind the 9 ball, JJ?
Big mistake here, not getting the purple safe.
We've been extolling the virtues of the Filipinos. That was the worst shot of the final so far. Will it give Germany the catalyst for revival?
Well, to answer your question, Carl, I think he would have shot for sure. He really hasn't backed down from the beginning of the match, the middle of the match, big lead, losing the lead. Just does not matter. I'm a big fan because of it.
These two will not go down without a fight. That much we know. They will relish this challenge in the final to cause a huge upset from 9-2 down.
They have been the 5-back kings, though. We must not forget that.
Team Germany wins the rack.
It was a golden run from the Philippines, but now it's interrupted. Germany have another rack on the board. Even so, the Philippines remain in firm control. It's 9-3. They are singing, they're shouting in Lugo, and Germany maybe are recovering. They so badly needed the 12th rack, and they got it through that poor safety from James Aranas. You never know. 9-ball pool is a strange animal, especially in a winner breaks format. One thing we do know, this is pure entertainment, and the crowd here are loving, savouring, cherishing every single moment.
Thank you, the 13th rack. Team Germany to break, trailing by 9 racks to 3.
Where's the 2-ball? Looks good. This is where it starts.
Yeah, great break off there. Cue ball and the 2 grouping up together. And you got to believe they got to put a few racks together to put a little heat on and have a chance to make this comeback. Can't afford any mistakes, the German team. Should be pretty simple. A couple rails around the 8, just to the left side of the table near. Is he gonna pull this ball? If he pulls this ball 2 rails between the 8 and 9, he gotta hope you don't land on the rail. Yeah, he's gonna go by the 8 near the left middle. Oh, he's coming that way. So speed control is very important.
Joshua Filler was happy with that one.
Yep.
The encouraging thing for the Germans, they've been finishing like a train. Oh, is that green just about finds its way into the pocket. Much like a 5 from Moritz Neuhausen in the last racket of the semi-finals.
Team Germany.
No white flag is being waved. Germany have won 2 racks on the trot. The Philippines 9-4 up now. Still 2 racks away from claiming the trophy. The most coveted trophy in pool, you have to think it's the Mosconi Cup, named after the great Willie Mosconi. This year's edition is on our side of the Atlantic in London and Alexandra Palace from December 6 to 9, where Europe will try to successfully defend the cup at the expense of the USA. I think it's pretty fair to assume Joshua Filler will be representing Europe again. It would be a major story if he didn't.
I'll tell you, Phil, there's a lot of pool left, and you know, one thing about sports and the youngsters, look at that guy with the shades
The
on.
14th rack.
I'm sure he'll be on the other side
Germany to
next to
break.
that American flag
Trailing
he's
by 9
next to
racks to
now. But what I was getting at, you never know when these youngsters are really going to turn the corner, and Moritz Neuhausen's going to be playing a lot of big competitive pool, and I guarantee you he fancies his chances.
Well, they're going to fancy the chances here in this rack. Cue ball was getting flicked, but just look at where the balls have finished here.
Oh, what they've done all week doesn't hurt their chances, that's for sure, in making this comeback. And it seems the table playing a hair softer, and what happens in pool is with the weather, right? It's so beautiful out, no humidity, and that creeps into these buildings and tables and can really change them a little bit.
Ja. Wohin? Hier irgendwo mit ein bisschen Winkel raus.
Habt ihr den jetzt hier oder hier? Hier ist gut.
I know, Carl, you, like I, massive advocate of winner breaks, and this is why whole matches can pivot on a single shot.
Yeah, I think the fact that we've got a packed crowd in, you know, it's very lively in here. You can feel the energy. Everything's just building up to be a great spectacle.
Team Germany.
It started with Germany trying to restore some respectability to the scoreline. Now they're bordering on being serious contenders. They only trail 9-5. And it's the way they've achieved it. The Philippines haven't been back to the table for 2 racks. They're experiencing what the Germans did in racks 8, 9 and 10.
Yeah, and Josh Filler, of course, a great front runner like all the champions are, but also has won many tournaments, made many comebacks before. Moritz, of course, not as much experience, but it's been like that all week, so nothing new for the Germans.
I think it's fair to say, Carl, the chief priority for Germany is to keep the Philippines off the hill.
Couldn't agree more, Phil. Keep them off the hill.
Rack 15. Team Germany to break, trailing by 9 racks to 5.
Another couple of racks on this scoreline would really make this final something. 9 balls tracking, it's got kissed. There's a shot on the 2. Josh is a lefty, so he can reach this one. Cue ball's got to do some travelling. And the 9 ball will play a big part in this shot as well. Got to be careful he doesn't get too much in this and scratch in the bottom left as well.
Yeah, it's a ball though. If you're trying to come back on the line, like in between the 6 and the pink, up and down the table, a hair missable.
Well, he's gave his partner a look.
Wenn die den einfach bis zur kurzen Bande und ein bisschen raus aus der Bande.
Ein bisschen links auf jeden Fall, ne?
Ja, auf jeden Fall, wenn du hier links bist. Ja, okay. Das ist die Zeit. Kannst auch die Extension nehmen, wenn du willst.
Wants this to bounce a little.
Josh has got to attack here, and he's okay for position. Just a little bit more of a testy shot, having to cut the pink backwards. If he makes it, the pink will come up off the rail. Enough, you would think. He hits it clean into the pocket.
Well, these 2 young men from Germany, they have done well here to make this final something special.
Team Germany.
Remember, another World Cup final involving Germany. They thought that was all over. Well, this one most certainly isn't. 9-6. Suddenly we're wondering, are we going all the way in Lugo? This crowd is being whipped into a frenzy. It is a terrific match. One of those strange occasions where it's not just dramatic, but it's quality as well. The very best kind of contest, the very best kind of final.
Thank you, Rex. 7-16. Germany to break, trailing 9-6.
From pandemonium to silence. And almost back to pandemonium.
Yeah, and it looked like another good look at the blue 2, and it is near the cue ball, but I don't think it passes the black 8. And how impressive these players. Of course, we want that energy. We love it. Reminds you of a mini Mosconi Cup a little bit, but such a delicate sport and still able to perform.
Yeah, all 4 of these players will be pumped up. They're sat in the chairs or wiping the cues down as the crowd goes nuts.
Looks like he's just got to shave the right side of the 2 with some right English and let the cue ball spread up the table. Just kind of lay the 2 underneath the 8. You got some helpers with the green 6 and the pink 4. So if you're comfortable, you spin this with a lot of right English. Not a lot, but at least about a tip's worth. Yeah, that always looked like the shot to me.
Okay, the Philippines 9-6. It's still a decent enough lead, but they've been spectators for a few racks. Now they're kicking at a blue 2.
Yeah, you most likely want a full contact here. Can't get cute with it. What about the gap?
It's there, you know. That's why Phil has come round to look at where he wants the cue ball.
Everything there. Heart-stopping moment. This table playing more generously tonight, I think, than throughout the tournament.
I couldn't agree with you more, Phil. And a little light with the cue ball here. Could have got a little more out of it, especially after his partner. Probably a little fortunate with the red 3.
The extension, please.
I think he's got to check the cue ball a little bit, either with a little right spin maybe.
Well, it's going to be another rack. Fortunate that 3-ball wobbled and fell in. On another day, it stays up. But in this final, the drama is there.
Indeed, these racks are flying by. That's now 5 in succession for Germany. They were in a deep hole, trailing 9-2. Now at 9-7, they're starting to think, is it possible? Can we win this? The answer is a definitive yes. Now, the next time we all convene at a major Matchroom World Ranking event, running simultaneously to the European Open, will be the Fillers Junior Open. A tournament hosted, named after Joshua Filler and his wife, Pia, who is the current women's European 9-ball champion. That will take place in Fulda, Germany on August 11 and 12. The finest European talent will assemble. What an honour that is for Joshua. Well deserved. Winning this, that would be a thrill.
Thank you, the 17th rack. Germany to break, trailing 9-7.
Back in this final, from 9-2 down, they have won the last 5 racks. Was the cue ball.
Push out called. Team Philippines, it's your choice.
Dodong. Ha?
Eh, pag ako titira yun, replacing ko yun. I-stop bullying ko yun. Yung dulusot sa 4.
I couldn't imagine them passing this, and I'm not sure what they're going to do, but you can cue the ball awfully well. I think Josh may be worried about laying it on the rail and having to shoot it and get it back. So is he going here? Gonna get a little lucky, I think. Yep.
Well, the previous rack, I feel the Germans was lucky because they missed that 3-ball and somehow the pocket swallowed it up. So, bit of give and take here, but this is not easy.
The extension, please.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to elevate. He's just got to slow roll it, I think. He's going to elevate the back end, see if he can keep that nice timing he's had all match. Wow.
What a shot he's played there. That might be the best shot he's played all week.
I'm almost sure it is, given the circumstance. Brilliant.
Yeah, they got to collide into the pink a little bit here. Excuse me, into the 9 a little bit, trying to gain position on the pink. Easy to take your eye off an easy 3-ball.
May make the 9-ball as well.
9 ball, come on.
Forget the 9-ball. Forget the 9-ball.
This is a shot that James sometimes can overhit and not get a whole lot of cue ball movement. You really got to stay kind of medium to get the most out of the white ball. And that's exactly what I was talking about.
I thought he was going to pull up the left side of the table for a moment.
I wouldn't have minded it, really, the angle he had drawing the ball up the table.
Well, he's left his partner a big shot here. But he just keeps pulling him out of the bag. Cue ball's got lost a little, but it's not too bad. This is as good as like saying it's the 9-ball in this rack. If you make this one, you should be on the 7. 9's near the pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to shoot a ton of these to try and win any tournament. So.
This has been impressive from James Aranas. After missing a tricky 9 in rack number 2, he has really brought the goods for me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And not only that 6 ball, how about the 2 ball after the fluke from Johann Chua from the back rail?
Yeah, you talk about flukes. They were fortunate, but the shot Aranas played, jacked up, was sublime.
Team Philippines.
The hill is reached. Philippines 10, Germany 7. Tantalisingly, just one more rack required for glory in the World Cup of Pool for a record-shattering 4th time for the Philippines. They won the inaugural event in 2006, and now, 17 years later, they continue to make this tournament something special.
After losing 5 on the spin, that rack could not have come at a better time. That gives them a little bit of breathing space. They will feel like they will get some sort of opportunity to win this match, to win this title.
I'll tell you one thing, Jeremy, this final is not disappointed. And James Aranas most certainly hasn't either. He's been the supporting act this week, but boy, he came up big there.
Yeah, well, you know, this combination spends a lot of time together, playing a lot of pool back in the Philippines. And of course, the Philippines, if you've ever been there, it's not the easiest place to play, right? So many fans right around the table and whatnot, but it's not like the World Cup of Pool.
10 racks to 7.
Not anything close.
That's what they're playing for. Oh, he's crunched him. He has crunched the break. It's going to be a safety, JJ.
Yeah, if Johann was shooting, I would think he would somehow figure out a way to stay aggressive. Tell you what, there's a little bit of a cross-side bank that does stun the cue ball up the table, but you got to believe you're going to put the 2 up in that, you know, congested area at the top of the table is what you would figure. But there may be some type of two-way shot. This one's worth looking at.
Dito, basta siguraduhin mo yung pato rito. Gaganon yung dos. Dito lang. Kahit saan lang dito. Sige. Siguraduhin mo lang umabot yung pato dito sa gitna. Malaylay na ano lang. Sige.
Yeah, we could see what Chua is signalling, but this is not easy. You're not quite getting cover on the 2, so cue ball is everything here. Once the cue ball where his hand is, this needs to settle down a little bit. Oh, he's played it well, JJ.
Really nice, and I'll tell you, I was worried about the jump shot. You know, if you're Team Philippines, and now 2 balls to go over. Now the soft kick, the medium kick, there's a nice wall. If you can hit the right side of the 2, you have a little action to maybe make it. Keep things a little funny for the Team Philippines.
The extension, please.
In laying the foundation for this powerful lead, the Philippines benefited from so many hooks on the 2 ball, which yielded a chance that they accepted. Will this be the chance to get over the line?
Oh, he's aiming way up the rail here. Oh, what a beauty. What a beauty. It's going to leave a little gap for a kick, but I think he did get the snooker. It's close. And to have the resolve to play the shot, you know, not trying to create luck. And that's why he wins so many tournaments, Josh Filler. Always in them. Oh, baby. Wow.
Yeah, Joshua Filler, any pool tournament he enters, whether it's doubles or singles or team, he plays a huge part.
Well, he's got to direct his partner here, and That looked a little fortunate, but I think he had a little something in mind like that. Maybe not nestled up on the 6, but he wanted to protect the 2 down the table, is all I could figure why he put more speed. Try and tie this ball up.
False stroke.
And this is what you have to do.
Illegal
May not
contact,
have
ball in
gotten
hand.
exactly where he wanted, but the percentages were to surrender ball in hand and try and make things difficult.
Yeah, deliberate foul shot. So troublesome was the hook escape.
I think he can just land near the middle line. If you draw a line across the middle pockets, could he land there and then just pop the 3 and roll off the 7?
And it looks perfect to me, and I think that's what they discussed. It's real natural. Now you want to hit with the right English before the side and then try and improve the position play, coming directly at the 3 off 1 rail. He's gotten them really nice on here, and tell you what's the only problem is if he rolls off the 7, is he going to move it out of the way enough to open up the 6 as he comes behind it on the left side? Just barely.
Four pots away from the jackpot.
Yeah, I caught that one a little thick, but the nice lighter speed and really kind of one shot away. He's got to put a little speed on this. Skidded. Kind of kicked a little bit, but he kind of let up on the stroke a little bit as well. Just a little bit. I'll tell you what, we're going to see him kind of, I think, hum this ball on the side with a draw stroke. It's not the kind of shot you want to go forward with.
Boy, this is difficult. But it's Johann Chua. Nothing is difficult. Nothing. Aranas has got a long 8 ball. If he pots this, he'll be on the 9, and they will be World Cup champions.
Let's go! They know it's all over bar the shouting, and when this ball goes in, there will be plenty of shouting. Take my word for it. The Philippines have been crowned World Cup of Pool champions for a record-breaking 4th time. It is King James, but Emperor Chua, he was outstanding. Both of them will clamber onto the table in that traditional celebration. James is up there first, patriotically waving the flag. That flag has been in their cue case throughout the week. It means so much to them. They are the preeminent pool nation in the world once more. And who can deny them this celebration? $60,000 to share between them. But victory and these moments transcend money. They are priceless. And now, you know, Asia are the most successful continent in the history of the World Cup of Pool. They've won it 8 times, Europe 7. There's a new world ranking event in the Philippines at the end of this month, and the timing of this victory could not be any more impeccable. And impeccable is the word to describe the way the Philippines played, not just in this match, but in all 5, to lift a trophy that everyone wants to get their hands on. They beat Spain, the defending champions in the first round, Spain B next, then staved off spirited fight-backs from Chinese Taipei and Austria before overcoming the might of Germany in the match that mattered most. Simply brilliant. It wasn't just the result, it was the way in which it was achieved. And I think in Johann Chua, a star is born. In the past, giants of the game like Efren Reyes, Francisco Bustamante, Lee Van Corteza and Denis Okolio have won this title for the Philippines. Now it's the two relative youngsters, 31-year-old Johann Chua and his contemporary James Aranas. What a final it was. Just 3 missed pots between them. Of course there were mistakes, but the quality and the drama was outstanding. Now, let's hand over to Carl Boyes.
Thank you, Phil. I'm sure we all agree what a fantastic final that was. I'm here with the runners-up, Team Germany, Josh, Moritz. Good match, just coming up a little bit shy in the final there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough final, honestly. But since they were breaking better, then they made a couple of runouts. But I still said to Moritz, we still have to believe, and we came back. Then I played all right push out, and then they had a lucky shot. But then also Aranas made a crazy 2-ball after that. But all in all, they played better, and they deserve to win.
Josh always gracious in defeat. Moritz, 19 years of age, in a final with Joshua Filler. Sum up, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling amazing. Even though we lost, I think we put up a good fight. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, what can I say? They deserve to win. They played phenomenal, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. And the atmosphere, applause to everyone else. I mean, the atmosphere was just amazing, to be fair.
Josh, final word. You've won everything in the sport. This man's going to win everything as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way he played in this arena for the first time is just unbelievable. He will have a great future ahead, but I'm also there, so I want to also win everything again. But every year playing with him now probably will be fun. I mean, it was just a fantastic event as well.
I'm sure he'll be back, boys. I'm sure you win it again. Well played. Team Germany, your runners-up. Johann, James, World Cup of Pool Champions. How does that feel? What a match.
It really means a lot. We dedicate this to our country, Philippines. We're just an instrument here today as of this moment. This is for Philippines.
James, that's the 4th time the Philippines have won the trophy. That's a record. You follow the legends, Efren Reyes and Francisco Bustamante. What does that mean to you?
Oh, for sure, it means a lot to me, Carl. I don't know what to say. I'm just so happy right now that it's my first achievement, especially this kind of prestigious event, Matchroom. Plus, it's a world title. It's my first world title, and it's a big achievement for me.
It's the early hours back home, but I'm sure millions are watching. Do you have a message for the pool fans watching back in the Philippines?
First of all, I just want to thank all the Filipinos who supported us from day one that we hold the cue from these sports. We dedicate this to all of you, to my family, to our families, and to all the people here, to Matchroom, to Ma'am Emily, to all of you guys. Thank you so much. Your Spain. Thank you so much.
James, anything you want to say to the people back home watching?
I just want to say thank you to all the Filipino back home, to my wife, to my family, to all my friends all over the world, in the US, and to all the people who come here. Thank you so much. To Ma'am Emily, Matchroom, and of course to my partner. Without him, I wouldn't be here.
Your winners, Team Philippines!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our presentation party, Emily Fraser, Managing Director, Matchroom Multisport. Carlos Iglesias, President of Galicia Pool Association. And Javier Arias, Delegate of Junta de Galicia. Please, big applause for our runners-up, Josua and Moritz Neuhausen, Team Germany. And a big applause for the winners, Dodong Diamond, Aranas, and Badkoi, Johann Chua for Team Philippines.
Thank you very much. Gracias.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 2023 World Cup of Pool champion, Philippines!
My goodness, you can't beat a confetti cannon, can you? You can see how much it means to James Aranas and to Johann Chua. Jeremy and Carl, after doing your hosting duties of the presentation, hopped over to join me. I mean, Jeremy, what a phenomenal final we just witnessed.
Yeah, it was awesome. Hats off to Germany, of course. And they really didn't make many mistakes. It seemed like Team Philippines just was not to be denied tonight.
I mean, we could barely hear each other over this incredible crowd. Carl, the atmosphere here tonight in Lugo has been something else. A knowledgeable, appreciative and passionate group of fans here in the arena.
Yeah, that's what the sport of nine ball can bring to the fans watching. When you're here, all the crowd get involved. And obviously both teams played their part. In the end, the Philippines deserved winners. Joshua Filler's won it before. Moritz Neuhausen will win majors.
Jeremy, Carl mentioned it when he was talking to the players, but this is the 4th World Cup of Pool victory for the Philippines. That's more than any other nation. Just how significant is it to have been done by 2 young players and 2 really bright stars of the future?
Yeah, you know, all the Filipino players are very well liked around the world, and these are 2 of the finest in that department. And, you know, Efren and Bustamante won the first one. They're probably shedding a tear tonight back in the Philippines, seeing another one's on their side, and 2 guys that can certainly win more.
Well, let's take a look, shall we, at the Roll of Honour of the World Cup of Pool as those guys lift that trophy once again. So there it is, 2023. It goes to the Philippines, having last won it all the way back in 2013, so a 10-year wait, but I don't think they'll mind too much the way they won that here tonight. An absolutely phenomenal performance. And Carl, when you look at how that match played out, it was 2-1 to Germany. The Philippines won 8 racks in a row. They were so close to reaching the hill at that point. I saw someone actually pull the confetti cannon out, but Germany did have some other ideas, didn't they? And it was just a phenomenal performance and fight back from Moritz and Joshua, which we saw them do in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. And the grit and the stomach they showed for a real battle there is incredible to see, even in defeat.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the second rack, Aranas missed a tricky 9-ball. I thought that might wilt the Filipinos a bit because obviously they're playing in their first big major final. Phil's been here, done it all, but in the end I thought he showed great heart. Chua has been the star of the tournament for me. He plays the game different. I've never seen anything like it.
I have to ask as well, Carl, last Sunday we stood in this similar position after the Spanish Open final between Marc Bosch and Dang Hinju of China, and you said it was the best final you'd ever witnessed. We didn't get to Hill this evening, but how does this one compare?
Yeah, it was right up there, you know, certainly in World Cups. I mean, me and Darren, we got lucky, we won Hill. I think that was pretty exciting for people watching, but this one had it all. But what it did for me is it showed how much Filler and Moritz gelled together. What a team. You know, the fact that they was down, they kept smiling, laughing. Other teams in the event who've not really done that could learn a lot from them too.
You know what, Carl? We've been talking about this World Cup of Pool since Tuesday. You've mentioned your 2014 performance a couple of times, but it's the first time you've actually acknowledged that you went Hill and then you lifted the trophy. Jeremy, I mean, it's incredible to watch, isn't it? And when you look at how the World 9-Ball Tour is sort of seeing players climb up these rankings, and that both sets of these players here came in to represent their countries based on those rankings. When you look at Moritz Neuhausen in particular, someone so young, and seeing him given this huge stage by how well he's been performing on tour, it's great to see for the growth of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why they have the junior events alongside these events, is to make the next crop of players even better. Because if you hadn't paid attention, the game's definitely elevating, and Moritz Neuhausen's a big part of it.
I mean, look, we've been seeing they're signing their table now. I mean, Carl, from a player's perspective, you've been in this position when you win the World Cup of Pool. We heard from both of the Filipino players saying that it was such an honour, such a highlight. But just exactly where does this rank for the players?
It ranks very high because obviously most of the year you play individual events other than Mosconi Cup, which obviously USA players and Europe players say that is their favourite event because you've got teammates. This is exactly the same. You share the trophy, you share the prize money with a buddy, and you can go and share a beer with him too.
I think they've earned more than a couple, haven't they, this evening? That is for sure. I mean, it is fantastic to see. They've jumped on the table, they've signed the table. Pretty much they should maybe win the table, should be part of the prize at this point.
Yeah, and when they go back home to the Philippines, I've been a lot. It's a serious deal. You know, the legend Efren Reyes. I didn't believe it when I first went, but people said to me, if you're in a taxi or in a pizza shop or in a bar, mention Efren Reyes. Everybody knows he is, and they was not kidding. These two will be famous over there now.
I was going to say, is this going to propel them to superstar status overnight back home?
Oh, absolutely, and you know, they were on their way anyways, and of course a big tournament coming, a ranking event coming there in just a few weeks' time, and they're going to be center stage, and they deserve it.
They certainly do. I mean, look at that. You get the feeling of that fist pump there as well, don't you? Incredible to see. A phenomenal performance and a phenomenal final. And the good news is, pool fans, there is plenty more to come. You can see the German flag behind these promos for you. The European Open in Fulda, Germany starts August the 8th to the 13th. That's followed by the US Open in Atlantic City at the end of September. And then the Asian Open for the very first time. We've got the Asian Open in Hanoi City, Vietnam. And then, of course, the Mosconi Cup, as ever, rounds out the year in London this year. I mean, Carl, when you look at this calendar coming up, I've got to mention, particularly after the Philippines have won the World Cup of Pool, the Asian Open is something we are all immensely looking forward to.
Yeah, can't wait. Sold out in 2 minutes. Obviously, we're going to Vietnam. There'll be a lot of players over there me and JJ have never seen or heard of, and I'm sure they play like these two champions that we've just seen.
And Carl, Jeremy, sorry, first of all, we've got Fulda, Germany. Joshua Filler had his home tournament. He's hosting a Junior Open event there as well. We've seen him in a couple of big finals recently, including the UK Open. He'll be desperate to be on the other side of this confetti cannon, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Josh shouldn't stay away from holding them trophies for too long. He's one of a kind, you know. I don't know what else to say other than he'll probably still be the favorite to win that European Open.
Picking favourites early is a risky game.
Well, odds-on favourite.
Odds-on favourite, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, Carl, Jeremy, it's been a phenomenal couple of weeks. What has been the highlight? Because we have been here for 2 weeks here in Lugo in Germany. We had the Spanish Open last week. We've had the World Cup of Pool this week. It's been a great place to come. There is a real pool coach here. We've been welcomed so warmly, haven't we?
Yeah, I think the fact that obviously me and JJ have commentated on both finals, the individual final and the World Cup of Pool final. We've seen what atmosphere can be brought to these. The tour's growing. We need more fans to come to these events because this is what can happen. Also, I think I might be Johann Chua's #1 fan.
Do you know what? I think you might. We'll get you a special badge made ahead of the European Open. Not too bad, right, gents? Thank you very much for your company and insights over the last couple of weeks. I mean, my goodness, what a final, what a World Cup of Pool we have witnessed, and what a couple of weeks we have had here. This is why we love 9-ball. Huge congratulations once again to the Philippines, your 2023 World Cup of Pool champions. But from all of us here in Galicia, goodbye.